The historic Supreme Court confirmation hearings of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson are underway. If confirmed by the Senate, President Biden's nominee will be the first black woman and first former public defender to sit on the highest court in the land.
And Judge Jackson is now facing 2 days of questions from the Senate Judiciary Committee's 22 members. And one of those members here with us now, Senator Padilla of California. Senator, good to have you here with us. Look, we know confirmation hearings, that room can get a little tense at times, and there's plenty of time for that. But yesterday, give me an idea of being in that room. What did it kind of feel like? The tone, we were watching a first in this country's history. So what did that room feel like?
You just couldn't help but feel history in the making for all the discussion about the merits of having not just the first black woman on the Supreme Court, which is important enough in and of itself, but the entire life and professional experience that she brings to this. Before the next opinion, before the next dissent, just to have her sitting in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee is history in the making. The good news is that she felt right at home. She's been here before, as you know. Not once, not twice, but 3 times confirmed by the Senate Judiciary Committee to various positions, including district court, circuit court, always on a bipartisan basis. So I hope that has set the stage for the rest of the week.
We are expecting to hear some tough questions from Republicans. What are your expectations about what we'll hear, what the tone will be? Will there be fireworks?
Well, that'll be to be determined. I think there's certainly the potential for that, given the political climate that we're all living in and continuing to work in. We heard some issues that several of our Republicans raised yesterday. But this much I know, knowing Judge Jackson's experience, her credentials, her record, and even the beginning of responses to questions this morning, she's solid. She's going to have an answer for anything Republicans throw at her. You know, if we really want to do some math here, she has more experience by herself than several of the current members of the Supreme Court, all taken together, the experience they had at the point that they were nominated. So credentials, qualifications is not a question. She's more than incredibly qualified.
Important points there to point out. And I know that you, Senator, met with Judge Jackson earlier this month to learn more about her, learn more about her background. What do you hope she brings to the bench that has been missing?
The first black woman nominated to serve on the Supreme Court. That brings important perspective that's frankly been missing for more than 200 years on the Supreme Court. But she's also a working mom. You know, as a father of 3 growing boys, I know what that balance can mean sometimes just in the course of life. She's also potentially the first public defender to serve on the Supreme Court. We're hearing questions about that experience that she brings. Anybody who questions, you know, a particular case or a person that she might have represented, you know, she's begun to answer. Look, if you have a question with public defenders, you have a question with the Constitution, because one of our fundamental constitutional rights that defines our democracy is the right to an attorney, whether or not you can afford one. That's the role of public defenders, and that's pivotal in the justice system.
And Senator, one thing here quickly, I just want to ask what you thought of the moment when Lindsey Graham actually said, and I quote, "We're all racist if we ask hard questions," end quote. He was essentially setting up this idea that if Republicans ask difficult questions, they'll be accused of being racist. What you thought of that? He seemed to be setting up, if you will, not exactly sure what, but setting up a reason to say there's no racial undertone in anything we'd be asking her. What did you make of him making that statement?
Look, my first instinct was somebody seems a little sensitive right now in saying what you're saying and how you're saying it. But you know, I do respect that there's a difference between asking a tough, thoughtful, insightful question versus the tone of how you're trying to phrase it or deliver it. It is not lost on me that this Judiciary Committee, Republicans on this Judiciary Committee, seem to have a double standard between the number of nominees of color that have been before us over the last year as we're trying to diversify the federal bench versus nominees that are white men, prosecutors, corporate lawyers. They can't have a double standard, and we got to call it out.
Well, I think you just did, Senator Padilla. We appreciate you taking some time with us. We'll let you get back into the hearing room. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
And happy birthday to Senator Padilla. We understand it's your birthday?
Thank you. Yes, if you don't mind, a shout out to the family back home. You know, they said if you can't be home for your birthday, you better have a good reason. I think work today is a good reason.
That is. Well, Senator Padilla, I hope you got the cake and the flowers we sent. If not, we'll check on it. But thanks so much, man. And folks, you can be sure to catch some of the gavel coverage of those hearings. They're streaming today and through much of the rest of the week on ABC News Live.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.